So just last week, I had a friend visit me here in the studio, and they wanted me to walk them through all of my gear and how I record music, but also what I do here on a weekly basis for the YouTube channel. In the process of doing so, he pointed out that he didn't realize I was using this very, very vital piece of gear here in the studio, and I kind of felt like I was cheating a little bit. Like, I honestly assumed everyone already knew I was using this, but maybe you don't. So today we're going to check out a piece of gear that I've been using every day since the first day that I bought it, and quite frankly has become a very, very crucial piece of gear to the tone that you hear from me on a weekly/daily basis. Today we're going to check out Warm Audio's WA273-EQ. Let's get it! This WA273-EQ is basically based off of a Neve style pre, and these pre's were on consoles that were used to record massive hits one after another. I had the privilege of actually sitting behind a Neve console many years ago, and it was genuinely a life-changing experience. And of course, I can't actually compare an original Neve console pre to what we have here today, but what I can do is show you the tonal differences and how it contributes from a tone standpoint to my everyday sound. First, let's discuss how I actually use this thing. I typically will go from my guitar into my pedal board, and as a lot of you know, I have chosen to use the HX Stomp for all of my digital amping, so there are no amps involved in my setup. I go straight from my pedal board out of the HX Stomp, of course, directly into the Warm Audio pre. That pre then goes directly into my interface. So it's the only thing between my guitar and the interface itself. I don't add any in the box or any effects to my guitar signal at that point. Once I record it, it's printed that way and that's it. But I must say this pre is very important to my everyday tone, and I think that I've sort of neglected to really be transparent about me using this thing as a major tool in my everyday tone. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to sell you on products. So I don't work for Line 6. I don't work for any of the companies that technically even sponsor these videos. I give my honest opinion. So I benefit nothing from trying to enhance someone else's product. But I do want to be transparent with you so that when you actually hear a product that comes out of this studio, you're hearing it for what it actually is. I also want to quickly shout out Warm Audio because they, of course, are making a clone of this pre. In fact, Neve is still a company and they make their very own version of this style of pre, and it is quite expensive. It's about double the price of this one. I'm going to use my guitar to quickly give you some sound comparisons, so let's check out what this thing actually can do. So we're going to start off by plugging directly into my interface, which just happens to be a solid state Logic SSL12. And we're going to bypass the Warm Audio pre so that you could hear what my guitar would normally sound like without the pre. Now I'm back in the Warm Audio pre, and we're going to bypass both the tone and EQ options on the pre. So this is just the pre as it stands. Now we're going to quickly switch on the tone. And now we're going to turn on that EQ. So there you have it. That is the Warm Audio WA273-EQ. It is a 2-channel EQ. In fact, the second channel I'm actually using for my vocals that you're hearing right now. Now, the big question is, am I cheating? Am I using this product to trick the audience into thinking that maybe a product like the Line 6 HX Stomp sounds better than what it actually does? For me, it's not cheating. It's more so tone shaping. It's kind of like using an EQ of some sorts to shape the sound of the guitar more so than anything else. If the HX Stomp or any other product that I'm using for that matter doesn't sound good, there's very little that I can do with this pre to make it better, to fix something that is already wrong. This is just meant to enhance the good stuff that that product already has. Now, though this video is not necessarily a review, more so like an informative video, I still feel like I should talk about the pros and the cons as I would in my normal review video. So we talked about the pros, we heard how good this thing could sound, but are there any cons? Because this is an outboard piece of gear and it's not digital, I can't change any mistakes that I may have made when I decided to commit to a certain sound or EQ. It's important to take time to make sure that you actually love the sounds that you're coming up with, because there's no turning back from them. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you a little bit of an insight as to kind of my inner workings here and how I typically record guitars, both for the channel and for studio sessions. If you have any questions, please be sure to leave them in the comment section below. I'll try my best to answer them. If you still are not a subscriber to the channel, please take a second, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon. Make sure you tell others about this channel as we are trying to grow our family. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week.